I heard from Taylor's girlfriend, the mother of their 2 children, here on Indian Village Lane. She says she wants the gun violence to end and doesn't want anyone to have to go through the reality she now has to face. We now know an overnight shooting happened here at the 7-Eleven in Northwest Roanoke. I spoke with a woman who lives in the neighborhood to my right, and she says it's usually pretty calm around here. Blinks has these planters from Southeast Asia in all of her stores, reminding her of home right here in New York City. This domestic violence awareness event gave the community a chance to come together to show domestic violence is an epidemic. It affects 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men nationally. Employees of this newly combined Wytheville Fire and EMS department say this burn training gives them an opportunity to work together as one unit. Before doctors get to the operating room to do surgery, they have to practice, but you can't practice on a patient. That's why they use virtual reality. Over 120 people came out Saturday to Liberty Lake Park in Bedford, all for the same cause, to help lift Angie Bowden's spirits. The Franklin County Sheriff's Office says they've been out all day looking for Michael Brown. They say he is armed and dangerous. I spoke with a Liberty freshman who said she signed the petition because of the seriousness of the virus. She says it's irresponsible to continue having in-person classes, especially after students come back from spring break. I sat down with Najada Joyce's mother and godfather. They tell me this loss is difficult, but God and their cheerful memories of Joyce are pulling them through. This 12-foot wide, lens-shaped heart sits in the center of Times Square. The Franklin County Sheriff's Office says they've been out all day looking for Michael Brown. They say he is armed and dangerous. Here's a photo of 22-year-old Brown, who's accused of shooting his mother's boyfriend on Saturday just before noon. The crime happened on Wood Thrush Circle. Rob Yannick lives nearby.
Well, it was shocking, and I kind of turned to my wife and I was like, isn't that really close by here? And she was like, yeah, I think it's just at the end of the road. And I was like, holy cow.
But Yannick isn't worried.
We've lived here for 4 years and never had any problems with break-ins or anything like that, so we still feel very safe. And it was very reassuring. A sheriff's deputy came by yesterday and knocked on the door and told us they would have an increased presence in the area.
Other neighbors feel uneasy that Michael Brown is still on the run. He deserted his post at Camp Lejeune in North Carolina last month. The sheriff's office says he has a high-powered rifle on him and may have access to other weapons.
Now it makes me uncomfortable because I kind of like, we leave the doors open all the time because it's so safe around here. But now we have to be skeptical of that.
The sheriff's office says to call them immediately if you see the suspect. In Franklin County, Lindsay Cayne, WDBJ7.
Oh my gosh, all the flavor, can you smell it? It smells so good.
The smell, the sizzle, and just the right amount of spices. Chef Maria Bito knows exactly how to mix it all together to make this irresistible slow-roasted pork shoulder called pernil. It's a popular Puerto Rican dish you can now learn how to cook at one of Maria's classes while recognizing and celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to make the arroz.
That's this yellow rice with pigeon peas. Add in beans, cook up some chorizo, and sprinkle in a few other ingredients to get this final result.
Once we cook the meal together, then attendees are able to enjoy the delicious food that they've just cooked. And when the class is over, they receive an email with all of the recipes.
Maria is a longtime Lower East Side resident whose passion is put on display in these monthly hands-on cooking classes, where she shares family recipes passed down by her grandmother. The class series is run in partnership with the Lower East Side Community Center.
We decided to start La Cocina de Lower East Side because we feel that there is a need to teach traditional Puerto Rican recipes to the community. Puerto Rican recipes are slowly becoming a dying art here in the United States, where people are leaning more towards ordering food out.
From this rice dish and the roasted pork to the yuca, you'll leave with a full stomach and a greater sense of Puerto Rican culture.
Food is culture, and food is something that is very important in the Latino community.
Lindsay Cayne, CBS News, New York.
We've always had the question in the back of our minds. They never recovered a body. They never recovered any remains.
Constance Gadd looks at a picture of her brother, Ralph Cale. She was just 5 years old in 1950 when her lifelong search for her brother began.
My mother got a telegram. I don't remember if she read it out loud or she just read it to herself, but she immediately collapsed.
The Army had declared Cale, one of 13 siblings, missing in the Korean War at 19 years old. It was just 2 years after he started serving. A photo with friends while stationed in Japan was one of his last. Ever since he went missing,
We just never felt we were complete.
that was until 2 of his sisters received news they never expected to hear in their lifetime.
After 69 years, he's going to be brought home.
They said that Ralph's remains had been identified, and it was like the best birthday present ever.
The Army Casualty Office said his remains were found among 55 boxes of remains sent from Korea. Gadd's nephew gave a DNA sample 3 years ago, which proved to be a 100% match.
Our mother and daddy always wondered. And now I feel like they know.
I just hope that this gives other families, I hope it gives them hope, because hope never dies.
And now Gadd and Cottrell can get the closure they never thought they'd get, bringing Cale's remains home.
In my mind, he never got old like we are. He's still 17, and it's peace. It's peace.
Health experts are hoping this holiday season you're only giving your loved ones gifts they want and not giving them the coronavirus. If you're going to hit the road, experts say it's best to be in a car with other people you live with. We're continuing to track breaking news for you. An Amber Alert is active for a 12-year-old Henry County girl. Virginia State Police say she's in extreme danger, and she was coerced to leave her home by a 21-year-old man. New COVID restrictions meant Averett University had to rethink its graduation plans once again. Despite the changes limiting gatherings to just 25 people, students are still able to celebrate this weekend. I spoke with graduates who say they are happy to have the more intimate celebration. Still ahead on WZBJ 24, college football players forfeited their game earlier today, why they felt the need to make a statement. Plus, a 93-year-old veteran is using his handyman skills, how he's giving back to his community.